Hello, hello, hello friends, welcome to the channel. Bob here. I think the stream's working. Yeah, if it's not, then just let me know. I would say. I never test these things beforehand, to be honest. So before I explain where I am, I've got I've got plans to do a video and I'm doing some research for it. So I would very much appreciate it if I put some polls up, basically. And I very much appreciate it if everyone went and voted on the polls and kind of interacted, if you can be asked. Because yeah, so I've got plans for a video, so I'm kind of just trying to do some research. Holy smokes, it's not been that long since I played Everquest. Attack, you fool. Yeah, so you can do that. If you go, as someone pointed out, it's difficult to tell exactly where the poles are. I wasn't quite sure where they went myself. But if you go to the channel and click on community, apparently that's where you'll find them. Yeah, and just vote. It's all about MMORPG stuff, just trying to get an idea of how people feel about certain things before I do a video talking about well, kind of primarily the indie MMO scene. Can't bash, can I? That would be much appreciated. Yeah, so I'm on green today. A little while ago, a friend kindly gifted me a fungi tunic, and I haven't really done anything on EverQuest at all, but I kind of quite fancied that kind of gameplay loop thing today. So that's what we're doing. Let's get rid of that. So we're not going to use that. I just kind of fancied just going around whacking stuff, essentially. When I twinked my characters before, I always kind of felt about... I always felt about trying to create some kind of role-playing thing around about why I was a twink. Kind of like when old Bilbo gives Frodo the mithril shirt, you know. Well, my father left me the fungi tunic, but you know, it's difficult to convince yourself of that kind of stuff with that kind of item. I think really. Morning, mate. Yeah, I mean, I'm on P99. Just you know, so I woke up this morning, kind of fancied a bit of an EverQuest thing. I must confess, like Qualm, I haven't gone back to since. I'm not quite sure why. I mean, I do prefer the P99 client to the kind of Alcabor one, but yeah, I mostly just because I just haven't been doing any EverQuest at all, particularly. I woke up this morning and. I always find when I play tank or melee characters is skills like taunt and bash and stuff that you kind of need to keep clicking to get up until you get to a certain point where you know leveling slower, so you just get your 5 points or whatever it is and kind of move on really. Well, it's amazing how crucial the first few points are in classic EverQuest into your, as a melee, into your attack and defense skills, and an offense as well. And the offense particularly, I noticed when I was starting a melee character, the first kind of 5 to 10 points are quite important because you miss a lot until you get those up a bit. Talking about EverQuest, I think a lot of the reason why I can't, not the only reason, but I think one of the reasons why I ended up not playing as much. Where are you going? Or stopped playing as much was because it was kind of around a time where a load of like new indie MMO, classic MMOs were promised, and so I spent quite a lot of time trying those, and then of course like you're waiting for some to come out. I think to myself, oh well, I'll wait before I dedicate a lot of time to another MMO. But then of course they don't come out, or something happens, or whatever it is, you know, and then you end up kind of in no man's land, really. It's also weird to see how, like when you come back to classic Everquest, like how like badly some of these like modern classic indie MMOs interpreted the lore, if you like. You know, it's. I was about to say like you don't want an exact copy, but actually, like when I see how popular, this fucking tab targeting is a nightmare. When you see how popular Monsters and Memories is, which, to be fair to it, I mean, I love it, but it is a fairly close copy of EverQuest. Maybe that is what people want. You know, maybe we want essentially a copy of our favourite MMOs, but with different skin and different lore and stuff. You know, but mechanically we want them to be very similar. And I think the current crop that is available to play just don't interpret the mechanics particularly well. Hey Liz, how's it going? GFA is a weird starter zone because there's a ton of one level mobs, and it's such a big zone and they're all wandering everywhere, but there's not a huge amount of anything else. There are some orcs and spiders wandering around at a slightly higher level, but you end up killing level 1 mobs for quite a long while, until you can move to some of the orc camps or the bandit camp things. I mean, with a regen tunic, I should be able to do that stuff earlier, but need some more offensive points. I don't keep missing so much. I need to check. I think the wings are definitely a turn in for a quest. I used to like. It's a nice starter zone for cash here because there's no MP. There's no humanoid mob, so you haven't really got any chance of any armor or bag drops. But the drones, but the wasps drop a venom sack that's worth 4 gold. So that's pretty decent. Ah, there we go. Little level 2 spider. Hey mate, how you doing? Hope you're well. Yeah, I think the indie ones that are trying to replicate classic MMOs go in the opposite direction though. I mean, literally, you log in, and what they also miss is the RPG side of things. Like you log in, you take your note to your guild hall, and immediately you walk into the guild hall, you see all these other paladins standing around in flashy armour and stuff. You walk around, you hail them, so you get a bit of backstory, and immediately I feel like a paladin. In some of these games, there's absolutely no... like I recently returned to Embers Adrift, like, because I'm kind of planning on doing a request video, because quite a few people keep asking me, am I going to go back, and there's been all these changes and stuff. And, you know, at the moment my impressions are similar to what they were before. I love the gameplay loop, but everything else is just tuned to be just annoying. But the one thing the game has got is, like, I was leveling a warden who, on the face of it, kind of feels a little bit like a rangery type thing, and a berserker. It's obviously what a berserker does. And I was leveling them both, and it just felt like I was leveling the same class. You know, if I didn't look at the skills every now and again, it just felt the same. And I'm not talking about like level 6. I mean, both of these characters are like level 15 or something. But there's no... I'm playing a warden. You know, it's got like a spirit of wolf type spell, and it's got some other bits and pieces that kind of make it feel a bit rangery. But there's no role playing immersive aspect to it. The two classes look the same because of issues with like Fashion Quest and armor weight and all that kind of stuff. They use the same weapons, and you know, I kind of switched between them to level them, and at points I wasn't even sure what class I was playing, and it's just simply because of that. There's no class immersion or class role playing. And I think that was a real problem in Eternal Tombs as well. Although they have said that that's something they're working on. So, you know. But yeah, when I think about the last two games I played, like Eternal Tombs and you know, and Embers Adrift, there's too much faffing about. There's just too much faffing about. People complain about Everquest being hard and all that kind of stuff, but literally go to your guild, give in your note, put your sword on, just go out and kill stuff. It's simple as that. Is that where Falwith is? Or have I gone? Oh yeah, I've gone running off and got lost there because my. As much as I'd like to role play it, and my wife jokes about it, I'm no Aragorn in real life. I literally get lost in my own house. Ooh. I feel like we've had this conversation before, though. I think the reason that Monster Memories is resonating with people at the moment, and Pantheon, to be fair to it, is because whether you think it's a bit of plagiarism or whatever, it's giving people what they want. You know, it's basically giving you an EverQuest game, but it's created its own lore and stuff. I think that's I think there's an issue between not wanting to copy something, but then not, you know, I mean, you can see that everywhere at the moment, can't you, for various reasons. But there's something about choosing something and not wanting to copy it, but be inspired by it, but then completely miss the point. You know, I think that, you know, I mean, EverQuest didn't resonate with people just because it was the only MMO available. You know, EverQuest came out after Ultima Online. And games like Asheron's Call and Camelot, and there was a, you know, City of Heroes superhero game. You know, it resonated because it did everything. It did so many things really, really well. And you could say that, and as I say, people, I mean, I've spoken to my youngest son quite a lot about EverQuest, but he won't play it because of just what he's heard about it. But the reality is that EverQuest is not as hard as you think. In fact, it's beautifully simple, and everything was balanced perfectly well. Even the leveling, you know, when you look at like playing this and comparing it to Embers Adrift, for example, and I must say that I'm comparing it to Embers Adrift, like the older, like when I played a game like a year or so ago. So I'm not exactly sure what it's like at the moment. That's kind of why I'm playing it. Like even though it was grindy in comparison to modern MMOs, it always felt as though you were making progress. So except for kind of hell levels and when you're in the 50s, like if you're level 46 and you're in a dungeon or somewhere and you kill a mob, your experience bar is going to tick, for the most part. And in fact, like, depending what class you are, like when I was soloing with my enchanter in certain dungeons, you might get a 2% tick or even a 3% tick sometimes, depending what dungeon you're in. So even though it was grindy, it always made you feel as though for every kill, you could actually see the progress you were making. Whereas the mistake Embers Adrift makes is that you get to a certain point where okay, your 5th kill, your 6th kill, your 7th kill, and it's like, holy smoke, like, when am I going to get 1% XP? It's it's just balanced completely wrong. Everquest basically got it perfect with regards to progress feeling meaningful, but you didn't feel as progress being taking a while, but you didn't feel as though, because you got feedback often, it didn't feel as though it was too bad. I think that's the thing. Yeah, I think that difficulty comes through really just in the time, though. I mean, EverQuest is not a difficult game, but it's a time-consuming game, and that's kind of the whole point of an MMO, I guess. But yeah, I don't find it difficult at all. I think the difficulty comes from the time, and I think kind of the RNG really. Like if I'm in a dungeon with my enchanter and I'm lulling stuff and you get a critical resist or whatever. But what I like about just like whenever I play EverQuest, it's always like a massive wankathon because it is the best, But even the RNG, it does well because it's got RNG, but it does that brilliant role-playing thing of giving you the opportunities through character progression to lower the RNG. So there's still a small chance that things will go wrong, and that's what creates a tension. But it doesn't. But more often than not, it doesn't go wrong. But it's always that chance, I think. And I think that's what he did. That's what he. There's so many things he does brilliantly that people don't seem to be able to emulate. If I could go back and change one thing about EverQuest, I think it was that. I think that I definitely think that Epic's. I don't know. I think Epic, to get an Epic, it should require a group. But I think they try to be a bit too clever with the Epics. There was too much grinding for certain faction and stuff like that. I think I didn't find that particularly fun. And some of them are just downright ridiculous to achieve. There doesn't seem to be any balance between them. Maybe you could say that, I don't know, that the mage epic is pretty uber, so it should be harder, but I don't know. I'm not sure what Mage is like now, but it always felt like you had to be like someone who was very, very consistent in a guild, you know, to a point where the guild would go, yeah, all right then, kind of thing. But I don't know, maybe it wasn't I really like the way that, you know, I mean, it's completely different to EverQuest, but I really like the way that Lord of the Rings Online does epic items. You know, where you get your class kind of legendary item, and then you kind of you level it up, and it levels up with you as you go along. Or at least that's how they used to do it. Mage not hard on what, on P99 now, Melvin? Is that I mean, is that because some stuff was relaxed in the patch or something, or is it just that not as many people want them, so you can get them? Or yeah, earlier on I was going to say that I would like epics to be a bit more personal. But then I thought people would go, oh, you can't get your epic unless you're doing a raid, or you don't deserve it, and all that kind of stuff, you know. So I kept my mouth shut. But yes, I do feel that I would like to see epics to be a more personal journey as opposed to, you know. Yeah, how'd you get that money though? Because I mean, you know, you can start a character from 0 and get to 60, and in that period of time, you'll collect a lot of plat. But it seems to be so much. I was always terrible. I mean, I'm terrible with money in real life, so maybe that's why. But I was terrible with accruing money in EverQuest, and I don't know why. I'm just rubbish at it. You know, like when I say that, like I've accrued a few thousand plat and stuff, but uh, yeah. But I was never very good at making money. I was never very good at flipping stuff in uh, in EC. I guess maybe that was my problem. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, I mean that was a thing that never ever should have been allowed. And I guess I know people don't like instancing, but I guess that's kind of one way that WoW dealt with that. You know, like I wouldn't mind if it was a PvP game. You know, so you could go and fight the guild to try and get the epic and stuff. But the way that but if big guilds are just blocking it, that's just the thing is it's not even as though it's like annoying. It's just like on a human level, it's like what a wanker. Like, well, you wouldn't do it in real life. So what? You know, why? Why would you have that philosophy? That you know that kind of in a game. Oh, we're going to do it, so no one else can do it. And the thing is, as well, it's not even as though it's tough, is it? It's just numbers. As I said, like if EverQuest was a PvP game, oh, there we go, 4 gold right there. Then I can understand it, right? And those sort of guilds probably get their arse handed to them. But it's not a PvP game, so I don't understand why you get these little, you know. I always feel that in a role-playing game, like even a PvE game, even a PvP game, conflict should be role-played. It shouldn't just be fucking neckbeards being wankers, which is quite often what it is. But then you go on the forums and you can kind of see some of the sort of people you're dealing with, can't you? I'm hoping not to die for a while, Liz. In fact, I should probably go and fight something. I think the problem is, I've got offensives is 10 now. I'm in that halfway house at the moment where even with a fungi, I'll probably still get mashed by the bandit camps. There is a level 4 or 5 bandit camp, isn't there? But just over somewhere, over yonder. But I'm never gonna. I'm never gonna. I won't be able to pull them individually, singularly. So I probably have like 3 level 4 or 5 mobs bashing on me. I'm not even sure a fungi can deal with that. These little shits as well, like lower your faction. What are they there for? Because those mobs are like 2 or 3, so they'd be handy to kill. But I was always worried about the faction hit. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I'm sure it was to do with some fairies. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not, like, I'm sure that the new player could start playing tomorrow and love the game and go through and spend ages playing it and maybe end up with 300k to to be able to afford their mage epic. I doubt it. And I kind of think that a lot of the wealth on P99, on blue particularly, is just like legacy wealth. It's people who started playing P99 and they knew what the drops were gonna, they knew what the expensive drops were gonna be, and they knew what legacy items were going to go out and all that kind of stuff. And that's fair enough if you know that. I didn't know it, and that's my problem. But it kind of feels that that's what a lot of the wealth it comes from. Hello to everyone who said hello and I missed it. I'm not ignoring you. Okay, man. I thought I'd killed one of those pixies before, and it lowered a faction, and then I was like, oh shit. Oh, there's a skeleton over there. Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think with as I said, I was playing Embers Adrift and I was going around, and I really like the gameplay loop, but it's not a classic gameplay loop. Running around a zone, killing mobs and gathering. It's very much New World was kind of my first experience of that kind of gameplay loop. It's more akin to Ultra Online really, but Ultra Online was so different the way that it dealt with character building and gathering and crafting. It's still not really comparable, I don't think. I think I'm lost. I think I'm lost. Okay, mate. Thank you. Let's give one a whack then. I suppose also, it's a bit like killing Tinkerbell, isn't it? It's, I need to put taunt on a hotkey. I can't be asked. I'll just click it every now and again. So it's actually called Pixie Faction. Cool. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah. The other thing that's missing is that the mobs in EverQuest are so characterful. Not very detailed, but they've all got such a good character to them, you know. And I just look at the mundanity of the mobs in current games. And the problem is Pantheon's gone the other smegging way. It's like playing Fortnite. I will be streaming Pantheon actually. What's the date? Because I'm a like everyone can play these like season things, but because I'm a peasant, and I didn't pay enough money. Oh, there's the town. Look, I can only play for a week out of the 4 or 6 weeks, whatever it is. Not quite. I think it's a 20 something. I can start playing for a week, so I'll probably stream it for a week, so we can get a good look at it. But I mean, if Pantheon ever gets to that point, I still think it'd be very popular because, like Monsters and Memories, you know, it's saying here's EverQuest, but with our own skin, which is maybe that's all that people want. I apologise for the darkness. I think I can't do much about it actually. I think OBS makes it look darker to me. I'm not sure how dark it is to you. I think it depends where you are in the zone, but I like the way it went dark there, and then all of the ambient noise of the animals and stuff just suddenly went quiet. That's quite weird. Oh, it's come back. Are those like level 30 pixie queen things that wander around Lesser Dark? Are they on the pixie faction? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think if the two came out tomorrow, I think I would choose Monsters and Memories. Let's kill mobs around the light. So it's actually a skeleton. It's funny, occasionally you'll come across these little lighted bits at night for no obvious reason. I wonder if an invisible I wonder if someone was invisible and they died and they had a light on them and they haven't got their corpse back or something yet. I don't know how it works. Oh, they're on Fairy faction. Oh, okay, so maybe it's just the Pixies on the Pixie faction. I have watched a couple of Pantheon streams recently because you can just stream it. Whoever's playing can just stream it now. You don't. There's no NDA stuff. And I saw some dudes faffing around like in a group, pulling mobs and stuff and whatever it was. And like, you know, once I got over the fact that it was like fucking high res Minecraft, or I was playing Gaston from a Disney film. I mean, it looked alright. You know, the combat looked alright. I still don't think it was EverQuest levels from a thingy point of view, but I think if it comes out, I think it'll be popular. I think it is scratching that itch. What we got? I'll stay in the lighted section, so at least you can see something. That was me, yeah. I didn't have as much time as I would have wanted to play, so I thought I just went running off just to explore. That Glass Flats was an amazing zone. And like when I came across the Underdark-ish area, I can't remember what it's called, the below area or something, or deep, or whatever it is. Yeah, that was when I noticed that with all those glowing mushrooms. Oh, I've attacked a pixie. Oh, whatever. She's got a sword. Oh, two-hander. I like the fact that Everquest also has a functional first-person mode. But I guess it's quite old school in that sense. A lot of first-person in games now feel weird. It really feels. It feels. The perspective just doesn't feel quite right. I would like to. I would like to be able to move out my field of view a bit more. I'm not sure if you can do that in INI files or whatever, but deep runs, yeah, I love that. Ooh. Okay, so I have a bit of a problem in that I'll get a crash where it just stops, and that's what's happened here. I'm not sure if it's quite an animation or if it's my video card saying, what the hell are you doing? How dare you play this game? I'm built for moving billions of polygons per second, and you're playing this game. Let's load up again. It's happened occasionally. I think I actually saw something about it on the forums, and maybe to do something, but I can't remember what it was exactly. What the hell is that? Now, obviously, I'll have to wait for. Can't even see. Type the password in. Okay. Oh, I had tab on. I had okay, it will have to wait. If don't know if looks like green still consistently has more players than blue. I don't know if that evens out later on. Yeah, do you know, Matt? I've been hard on the game, but I can join on to the peasanty play where I get a week at the end of the. I get a week at the end of each season, so when I can play, I will. I'll spend a week. I spend a whole week just playing it basically and streaming it, hopefully, and yeah, give it a go. So if you sit in camp, okay, mate, I'll give it a go. Yeah, it just freezes. It feels like a graphical freeze, but I don't know. Normally it would happen in Kunark zones, so I don't know. know it's very dark. even with Improvision, it's dark. I mean, I can see fine, but I know, but it's just, I think there are filters on, maybe on OBS, where I can brighten things up. But yeah, I haven't done that. I'll tell you what's happening. So I'm running towards a decaying skeleton, and I'm attacking. Now you can see that much, can't you? Do you know, Dark Age, unsurprisingly, even worse than EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot was an absolute alt nightmare for me. I just could not. Well, first of all, I couldn't choose. I couldn't decide which faction I liked the most. As an Englishman, I thought I should choose Albion, but having a fair old chunk of Norse blood in me, I felt I should play Midgard. And then on my mother's side, there's a fair old amount of Celt in me, so I thought I should play. Hibernia. Yeah, I mean, I found it difficult to even get beyond choosing the right faction. Otherwise, I really liked it. I loved the. I actually started playing Dark Age of Camelot in its pre-alpha phase, because I knew I had a friend who was a friend of one of the developers, and he got me in. And my first experience of Dark Age of Camelot was running around in the Nubia Albion zone, and there was literally nothing apart from a few mob spread here and there. It was really, really early. But I always liked it. I always liked the idea. I'm not a big PvPer, but I like the idea of the faction warfare. I think that was done really well. But yeah, it was terrible for my altitis, because as I said, I struggled to even pick a faction, let alone a class. I thought Hibernia was a bit namby-pamby. I thought they were a bit, you know, bit elf. It was really interesting, like PvE though, even though it was a really good PvP game. Some of the classes really well designed. I loved the Sorcerer, the fact that you could charm a mob and it stayed charmed. And like the higher, and you had to, if you wanted to keep pets that were of a higher level or same level as you had to invest in the skill and stuff, which I really liked. Yeah, there's some great ideas in that. How is that working then, Matt? When you say £150 for the 2 weeks, I mean, I paid. I mean, I think I bought a pledge that cost me about £100 at the start, and like, I can only play for the week, I think. So if it's £150 to pay 2 weeks, is that just a one-off payment, or do you have to pay that kind of? I'm interested to hear that. I don't know, Liz. I mean, I've stopped playing MMOs just because I couldn't decide what to play. I have this problem in single player games. It's some kind of affliction, definitely. So what level are we? We're level 4. Let's go and sell some stuff. And it's crashed again. It's crashing here. I wonder if it's these flames effect. Why that would crash? Because I also was having trouble crashing in. My shaman is bound at at the pots in Timorous Deep, and it crashed there as well this morning. Okay. Yeah, my biggest all-titus shame is where I just gave up on it MMOs because I couldn't choose what to play. Even though I liked the MMO, that's not a good thing. Okay, let's try again. Maybe if I'm walking backwards, it might, I might have a look, see if I can. Yeah, maybe the pledges have changed. I'll have a look later to see if I can top it up for the next pledge, to get a couple of weeks. Something needs to change, and I think Monsters and Memories and Pantheon might do that. Maybe Eternal Tombs. I just think that, especially, I mean, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but I mention it now, is if you go to my channel and click on community, there's a load of polls for you to make choices, and I'd appreciate it if people went and answered those questions. The polling on YouTube's a bit meh, so I think some of them didn't quite work out how I wanted to. Let's turn around. It's back in. It's funny because it crashed twice when I was looking at the gates of Fairwith. So I need to investigate that. No. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. Yeah, I was. Yeah, so if you wouldn't mind doing that, go to my channel and click on community, and you can vote in the polls, because I'm researching for a video that I want to do. But always a necro killing guards. I always like to see that. That's classic. That is classic EverQuest. Hiding. So I think if the guard can't get line of sight on you, I think it doesn't cast lay on hands, because I think they're all paladins. Is this the paladin or the cleric guild? I can't remember. I think these are the paladin dudes, aren't they? Yeah, so go and vote on those if you don't mind, because I'm going to do a video talking about it. But my feeling is just the gist of it is that I just think that modern classic MMOs have kind of stagnated for whatever reason, and I think there's this cycle at the moment where, well, I think let's sell this Twinkie crap. Well, I think if you look at the polls, it kind of speaks for itself, really. I think people seem to be spending less time. People will start a new MMO and then drop it quickly if it doesn't meet their expectations. And that's not all to say that the players' expectations are always correct, but I just think that what seems to be happening is you market a game. You market a game. Fucking English, holy smokes. You market a game at a group of individuals, and then they go, oh, well, look, and they give you a bit of pushback, and then it's not dealt with particularly well, I feel. You can't please everyone all the time, as they say, but I do feel that if you market at a certain audience, there's some responsibility to live up to their expectations to a certain extent. I sometimes think it might be better if people developing MMOs, and they say they're classically inspired. Now, inspired is a word that, it's got a massive range. but it's still going to come with a certain expectation, and I think the polls. I'm trying not to look at the polls too much because I don't want to know exactly what they say before I do the video. But when I looked at the start, yes, it seems to be the polls are telling us that we're not getting what we want, or at least people who watch my videos who play classic MMOs, they're not resonating, and I kind of want to try and find out why they're not resonating. Because we want them to, you know, we want to play them. I don't know about you, but I want to play them. I want to play. I mean, I want to go back and play Shroud of the Avatar, but you know, decisions are made, and it makes it very hard to do that. You know, it's. I mean, Shroud of the Avatar's got a lot of problems of its own, obviously being designed around a cash shop and stuff. But you know what I mean? You know, like I want to. Sometimes when I give opinions on certain games, I know people get over defensive about their thing, and that's fine, but it's like they talk as though I don't want to play an MMO and I'm just moaning for the sake of it. But I absolutely want to play a classic MMO again. That, you know, that is not EverQuest, that is just giving us something new. I was just wondering if my amazing strength was hindering my weight. It's not at the moment. One of the things I thought as well, and this is probably difficult because of the... just sit here for a minute. It's difficult because of the costs probably, but I think that one of the issues that I've found with the games as well so far is that the development team doesn't have a customer focused person, and by customer focused I mean someone who's experienced in that, and it's difficult because I guess that kind of role will maybe cost more than all the other roles. I don't know, to get a good someone who's got training and experience in customer facing stuff. But for the games that I've played, like if you think of a certain person for Shroud of the Avatar, for example, I mean, he's just terrible at customer facing stuff. But he was the one doing all the streams and getting involved in arguments and stuff. And what you want is someone who just plays a dead bat, you know, to use a cricketing term. You kind of, it'd be good to have someone on board. And it's like it's like with, I'm not going to mention names, but with another game, you know, they've got like a customer manager who's a really, really, really nice person, but but I think being nice is just not enough. You know, you need to be able to deal with that kind of thing, I think. Huh? I probably need to play a That's what I need to do, is play a Necromancer at some point. There's always a class that everyone told me they'd love because it mixes so many different types of game styles. Maybe that should be my next proper project. Ixar Necro from scratch, no twinking, just, I know, you know. I'm sounding as though it's an amazing thing not twinking a necromancer, like we didn't need it. Of course they don't, but you know, it's still night time. Yeah, a good customer facing role is, because I've just seen developers get on Discord and stuff and just not handle things particularly well, and I think they're the people who are going to be just too emotional. They're too, you know, they're too close to the project, where you almost need to hire someone who's not to deal with the customer stuff. Your game's fucking shit. Oh, okay, mate, fair enough. You know, I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe at some point in the future it might change. Never tell someone the game is not for them, and never let your audience, which is what some of these games do, never let some of your core player base tell another player that this game is not for them, because you've lost that fucking customer forever. Absolute bullshit. I can't believe how... I'm getting cross now because it really does make me cross. I can't believe how unprofessional some of this stuff is as well. And, you know, I know that some of these games are just a group of friends getting together and stuff, but it's still a business. You're still customer focused. You've got to think about this stuff. Never tell a customer, my game is not for you. Just play a dead bat. Maybe they'll come back in the future. Or maybe a friend will go, do you know what? I've been playing this game and I'm quite liking it. Do you know what they'll say? Fuck off. Because someone told, on the dev team, someone told me the game's not for them. Not for me. So they can stick it up their arse. It's just, this is basic stuff that needs to be sorted out as well. I think the core audience is the worst people, worst group of people. I think they're worse than trolls because there's no. Where did that light go? I'm getting freaked out by lights here. There was like a torch light here, and now it's gone. They're the worst people particularly for the devs to be listening to. Even if you've got a small population and they're the only people still playing your game, don't listen. Just don't listen to them. They've attached themselves like too emotionally or too financially. They can't make an objective decision. Or is it subjective? I don't know. I think that's another mistake I see. I've seen a lot as well. Shrouded Avatar was such an example of that. I remember there were people suggesting things to and they really wanted to help the game, and some of it was around the economy, but there were one or two big spenders who pushed back against it because they had bought a whole town and it had all of their crafters and sellers in it, so they pushed back against this stuff and it never happened, and it would have made the game better. So you got listening to a minority. It's just customer service. I think it really could be done better. Do you know what? If I was a community manager or a developer, and I saw in Discord one of my players tell another player this game is not for you, I would go to their house, tie them into a chair, I'd log in all of their characters, strip all of the stuff off their characters, destroy it in front of them, and then perma-ban their account and their... That's what I would do. Fucking idiots, these people. They really are. These are grown-up people as well. Grown-up people who invest too much into something and they just can't differentiate between... Right. Let's go and have a look. I'm sure I've got a necromancer, actually. Apologise for my swearing if you're listening at work. But I don't like I unmonetized my channel, so I'm kind of pretty unfiltered now. So you're getting unfiltered me, which you probably hate. There you go. Unban them, let them level up again, and then do it again. That's what they should do. Oh yeah. Oh, is he only level 1? Oh, that's all right. I wanted to call him Goff, but I couldn't get the spelling particularly. I mean, it says Goff, doesn't it? Basically, I love the Ixars. I think they were probably my favourite race that I never played much of. I just think they just look so cool, and the lore was so cool, and how cool do they look in robes? Holy smokes, they look so good in robes, don't they? Poor character here. I know I just quickly change characters with no context, but it's just a kind of like casual stream thing, you know. So, right, let's not crash. Okay, I thought I read something somewhere once where if you were out of line of sight, they wouldn't cast lay on hands, but yeah, melee range. Gonna do. So the Necromancer Guild is. I'm just having a look on the wiki because I'm a bit of a field of bone guy. I'm not keen on the other starter areas. Is the Necromancer Guild in West Cavalis? In which case I need to zone through to East Cavalis. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Tower of Death, Necromancer Guild. I don't want to go into Warslick Wood or Lake of Ilomen. Don't like those zones particularly much for newbies. Oh God. Kind of following a map. Either we're going to zone into East Cavalis or we're going to zone into somewhere else. I think I'm going the right way. I think if I go around that corner there, once I'm in East Cavalis, I'm fine. But West Cavalis, I always have a bit of a nightmare trying to find my way around. No, that's the PvP area, isn't it? So I need to cross over here potentially. But yes, so Ixal's best robe looking class, unless you've got something against tails. Saying that though, I mean halflings couldn't wear robes, could they? I reckon they'd be pretty hot in a robe. I think we've just zoned across. Yeah, their two-handed weapon animation is absolute carnage as well, isn't it? Who the hell designed that? Holy smokes! Absolute carnage, those. So if I go over there, I'm following a map at the moment, and if I go over there, the lore is so rich, isn't it, in Everquest? It's amazing, really, how. It's why like my mind was boggling at all these fucking normies going on about how great the Fallout series is. Holy shit! What's fucking wrong with you? Okay, I think we're heading to the Field de Bone. It is, yeah. Yeah. It's like a West End actor flopping over. It's very good. There we go. I think that little section there was a perfect example of an intro to a role-playing game, introducing your class, and how it's just like, yeah, I'm an Ixal Necromancer. I think that's what I think I said it before, didn't I? You know, I think the intro is really important. You know, it's not like, oh, you're some, you're some peasant and, you know, blah 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 blah. I've said this before, I think, as well, but it's interesting. Is that for a quest? I'll take it anyway. It's interesting also how I kind of feel that, you know, Everquest is seen as a hard game, but I think it is. I think it's just time consuming, and it's also seen as a like a social only game, but the game is eminently soloable. I mean, I think they really took that into consideration. I mean, if you look at the official guide, the official description, it basically says that Necromancer is a solo class, and it's self-sufficient. It's kind of designed that way, you know. But it can still be very useful in a group. I think they just whether they were on some design enhancing drugs or whatever it was. Yeah, just it seems that all the decisions they made just seemed to work. Let's kill some skeletons. I think I read at the time, I'm not sure how true it was, but I think I read at the time that the reason that Ixars didn't get Ixar pets, skeleton pets, is because of some kind of zone RAM buffer size, and so it didn't fit. I'm not quite sure if that's true or not. Maybe it's an urban myth, because this zone has got Ixar skeletons in, so they could not just have used that. I don't know, actually. Something I heard. There's a reason why they didn't get Ixar pets, but maybe it was just a continuity thing or whatever. Ooh. The hell? That came out of nowhere. That's what you get for playing first person. Was it? That's one of those little pups. God damn. Yeah. Guards. I loved in Ultima Online where you actually had to shout guards, and they would teleport in and help you. That was pretty cool. You had a hotkey for guards. Yeah, I knew there was a reason for it. I know there was a technical reason for it. Yeah, nice. And I guess they wouldn't have had the Ixar skeleton model in the old zone file. Maybe that's not how it works. I think there is a level 1 pet, isn't there? But I don't think I have the cash for it at the moment. Hello. I keep targeting myself. Come on, he smokes. I love the spell animations. Well, I think the trolls have got the best spell animation still, but Ixar's good as well. Ogres as well. Ogres are all arms when they're casting. I definitely want to start collecting scorpion pincers at level 2. That's quite a nice turn in. I think there's a few nice turn-ins here. Oof. I'm sure they thought about stuff like casting drain life on a skeleton. I think leaving it so that you can is fine. I seem to remember didn't a game come out where it wouldn't? Was it Shrouded Avatar? Wasn't it, where it wouldn't let you cast spells on undead? It wouldn't let you cast necromancy spells on undead, which seemed weird. I mean, necromancy is about manipulating dead, isn't it? Strange decision, that one. This is on green, Liz. Yeah, it's on green, I think, yeah. There we go. Not sure if anyone else does it, but in a zone where you've got humanoids and skeletons and stuff, I kind of run past other mobs to just kill the skeletons. I love that casting animation where they're kind of like this strange crouchy thing. What we got? Oh, got some buffing. Oh, thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Hi, YouTube. Thank you, mate. I'll go and bash some stuff. Yeah, well, I would definitely balance the. I definitely would definitely rebalance the crafting in EverQuest. Um, I also think it was a bit too like bitty. You kind of needed too many bits, like even very early on. I kind of try and ease it in a bit. I'm sure people who know what they're doing can just level the stuff. Boom, no mucking around. But yeah, the ambient sounds as well. So great in EverQuest. In a dungeon, I think it was Guck particularly, where there's kind of just this low rumbling in your ears all the time. It's a bit like ASMR or something. Uh, Thanks, mate. Cheers. That's some snazzy purple armour you've got. Did I kill that skeleton there? It's carrying a ting, big sword. Oh yeah. I kind of need a bag. I think we'll go and buy a bag. I think I'll probably sell those swords, get a bag. Yeah, I think in general, I suppose I get the impression that crafting wasn't really meant to be like a way of progressing your character from a gear point of view, um, unless you were willing to kind of go balls out and when a new server opens, to level up, to sell, like was it banded armor? Yeah, it didn't really feel as though it was there to do that. It's a bit like the amount of money it cost to buy like chain and plate armor from a vendor. It was a lot. It didn't really have any like bonuses or anything to it. I never really got into cooking. Did food have a fair impact on in EverQuest? Okay. I can't remember which vendor sells bags now. It's in one of these buildings, I think. Not this dude. Bags are normally right at the top, aren't they? I think that's the guy you turn in something to. Let's try over here. I'm sure one of these guys sells bags. Frog skin shield, nice. Thought it said clock catnip then. I'm sure someone sold a bag. Did I imagine it? Maybe I did. Sure, it was like rhino hide bags or something, something or other. But maybe I'm thinking of something completely different. Yeah. I'm sure there was. So there's a question. Might be controversial. Who has watched any of the Fallout series and why is it so bad? There's a question for you. We've talked to that guy, haven't we? Yes, I think he wants the thingies. The I think I'll wait till level 4, get a level 4 pet. It's always cool giving a level 1 pet like a two-handed weapon. So it does more damage than its base damage, but quite often I find I kind of lose experience because he just goes around one-shotting stuff. I suppose that's kind of where we are, aren't we? It's like, yeah, it's all right. All right is kind of good, isn't it? I guess it's apart from all the DEI trope stuff that I'm just sick of. I guess as someone who bought the first game when it first came out, it's kind of got loads of books and stuff. It just, yeah. Um, it's to say it's pretty law breaking is an understatement. I think the issue is as well. It's not just that. It's just that there's a load of issues with the story as well. You know, like why at one point they talk about having like a triannual like exchanging of goods and stuff with the other vaults, and yet they don't recognise. They don't know any of them. They don't see it's weird that they have triannual meetings with these people from other vaults, but they don't recognise them. Or the way like the brother finds finds out they're raiders. Like, you know, why would the raiders just have their why would the raiders just leave the vault unguarded so anyone could just walk in and find out? There's so many just horrible like plot stuff that just doesn't make any sense. Like, why does she threaten to kill the vault dwellers with a bomb, but then basically just gives them a chance to get away? And that's like the first 10 minutes, is it, or something? I don't know. I mean, you know, I kind of like halfway through the second episode, I kind of thought in the end I was only watching it for Walton Goggins really, but then I don't understand why his character is called the Ghoul, because there's millions of them, and we haven't seen any yet. Like, she's wandering around the wasteland, which in an area which shouldn't be as they're portraying it in the timeline. And there's no super mutants or ghouls and stuff. Maybe they'll introduce them. I don't know, but it felt a bit weird. I quite like the. I mean, you know, Maximus is yet another male character that's been turned into a weeping child, woman baby. I quite like the lead character, although I think they're far too, even for vault dwellers, I think they're far too naive. And kind of, you know. I mean, most of the vaults in the games were set up purposely as some kind of like social experiment. But even so, there was a fairly rigid regime within them, and like you would not have got the people who were in a certain health state in a vault. I just don't think that the overseer would have allowed it, irrespective of what was going on. But it's more things like, you know, like from law stuff, it's more things like you got these three vaults tied together, and that wasn't in the games. That's fine, whatever, you know. But where those vaults are, it looks as though it's supposed to be in territory that the NCR kind of gentrified already. I'm not sure what their reasoning is for that, or if they're going to have any reasoning for the fact that it's now not. But during all of this going on, they never ever noticed these big vaults there. you know, and there was never any contact. Didn't really, you know. Yeah, Walton's by far the best thing. By far the best thing in it. Um, I thought the dog was going to be dog meat actually, but I mean that obviously wouldn't have made any sense. But it does make any sense. I wouldn't have been surprised if they had called it dog meat, or maybe Walton will call it dog meat at some point for some reason. I guess it's a way of things, but it felt too rushed. Like I kind of felt that the end of the first episode could have been where the vault door opens and she comes out, and then it kind of ends. You know, so you have a bit more time maybe pre-war, and then a bit more time within the vault. Um, yeah. Is that for bags? Thanks, mate. I'm sure maybe someone just sold a random bag to one of those vendors outside at one point. I'm sure they had bags. I'm happy just running around collecting bone chips though at the moment. I should probably use my spells though just to get the skill ups. Cheers, mate. I'm also. It definitely came a crusade after what they did with Rings of Power, but I'm also on a crusade not to give any money or viewings to any of this ESG bullshit. And so I kind of feel if I watch something that's clearly got that agenda, then I'm letting myself down. It's interesting what's going on in gaming at the moment. There's Gamergate 2 stuff. And I like the fact that gamers have just gone, yeah, no thanks. No thanks. But again, a sensitive topic, I guess, you know. It was funny. I mean, it was clearly, you know, it obviously doesn't look like it has as much money spent on it as other series. But I thought I've only watched 2 episodes, and I thought I spit it out, Bob. I thought when Goggins was fighting the power armor dude, like the effects looked terrible on the power armor when he was flying around and stuff. That was pretty rough. I don't know, mate. Honestly, it's weird. Like before Qualm came out, I kind of moved away from EverQuest really, not because uh, because even though it's my favourite MMO, and I know that there are people who've played P99 from the start, and that's all they do every day, I just kind of, I don't know, you know, I was logging into it and I was getting a few levels, but then, you know, my mind was wandering. So when Qualm came out, it didn't have as big an impact on me as maybe other people. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with it really. I'm not sure how patches have been going and whatnot. So yeah, it's difficult to say. I think I said earlier in the stream that I started to move away from Everquest when I had a lot of hope surrounding the indie MMO scene, and I was kind of hoping to play something akin to Everquest, but with its own like lick of paint and lore and stuff. But I think myself and certainly most of the people that I know on my channel have kind of rejected them at the moment, and I guess we're kind of waiting for the next one, you know. Yeah, I've got like I can play for a week every season unless I up my kind of thingy, my pledge. What I might do is play for I'll probably stream as much as I can. I'll probably play for I'm not sure what the date is that I can play. I think it's kind of like towards the end of April, maybe beginning of May. I'm not sure, but I'll play for a week, and if I enjoy it enough, I might up my pledge so I can play a bit more. I think there's kind of no NDA stuff now, so there's like is it 4 week seasons or something? I'm not 100% sure, but depending on how much you've pledged previously, you can play more time within each season. So I might play this season and then see what's what. I do find the visual style a problem, you know, even as someone who plays like old low polygon games. It's more the heart style really, and I really didn't like it. But you know, it's not enough to put me off if it's a good game. Can't hit this guy. Thanks, mate. Let's move over here a bit to get your sexy druidness into the shot. Thanks for them buffs. Yeah, I think M&M, I think Monsters of Memories and Pantheon will probably end up being the two most popular, and will probably end up being the ones that maybe stick with people the most, because they're offering, it feels essentially an updated EverQuest, where, you know, maybe the other games have taken the inspired by you know, thing a bit too far, to where they're not inspired enough by. So I'm getting these now, which I want to turn in Um, so let's go and buy ourselves a bag. Oh, I've got no. Let's not get a bag yet. Let's kill some stuff because I've got fawns on, and then we'll go and get a bag. I need to cast spells actually to make sure I hit something. Make sure I hit it before the fawns kills it. Probably. Yeah. Let's look for. Let's pull this yellow mob. See if the fawns does the work. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah. Nice. I don't know if it's the third time I've said this. I hope I'm not repeating myself too much, but I did watch a Pantheon stream, a couple of streams, and like like I like the look of the gameplay. So I guess that's where we're hoping. Oh, for God's sake! I guess that's what we're hoping is going to be the winner ultimately. If they can bring some of that Everquest stuff in, some of that, nice toolboxes to do stuff with, crawling around dungeons, all that malarkey. Emergent gameplay, RNG, but RNG that you can control to a certain extent. Yeah, well, time zones seem to be even more important in the indie MMO scene because, like off peak, there isn't anyone playing. I mean, the peak time numbers are not brilliant, but at least it kind of functions as an MMO. I mean, I've been logging in. I mean, I've kind of returned Terms Adrift to faff about a bit because someone kind of asked me about it. And I've been logging in to like single figures, single digits. An issue that game's got is that it's so focused. It's so focused around grouping that. What is it? Oh, it's shield. Nice. Oh, no. Oh, well, I'm taking the shield. Get rid of that. I think the shield's worth a plat, maybe. I think over this way. I'm wasting the fawns here, but... Yeah, I have heard that it's. I mean, that when I played the couple of pre-alphas at Christmas, it seemed incredibly basic. I mean, the whole starter zone just seemed like massively placeholdery, and it didn't feel as though they got anywhere at all. But I do have it on kind of. Maybe fairly reliable authority that there is a whole lot more to the game. I didn't get experience of that. Oh well. There's a lot more going on, so yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I think these beetles are higher level, aren't they? But I will give it a good play when I can. At the end of the month or whenever it is, and we can we can see. Okay, well it's dark, so let's head to town and pick ourselves up a bag. Yeah, my opinion kind of flip flopped a lot. Has flip flopped a lot over the last few years about the best way of doing doing early access. And at first, I was kind of like, well, I kind of prefer the old school way of you don't know anything about the game, and then when it comes out, you play it, and that's it. But it, ultimately, it doesn't really work like that because it's not like old school where you didn't know anything about the game. There wasn't even internet for the most part. And I don't think it helps a project now where people can see something but they can't play it. So they don't really have, they're making opinions based on something they can't play. I think that's probably even worse. So I'm of the mind now is just let people play it. You might lose some because it's his base form, but at least there isn't. At least it's kind of like first hand opinion. It's not. It's not. So Ralph gave me some coordinates, which I'm terrible at following. So I will run around until I find. I wonder if he's in a. I wonder if he's in a building or not. I don't know. Well, that was really weird. Like I remember watching streams from many years ago. Uh, yeah, and you had these like big ice dungeons with ice dwarves in and whatever it was, and then we suddenly ended up with not that. You know, it was a bit weird. That shift was a bit weird. Maybe it's because the new engine they haven't ported all the assets over, so they don't have. But as I said, I mean, I've watched a couple of streams, and there was content where there were groups doing some stuff, you know, in different zones. So I don't know. It was a bit weird though watching that. I just think that the visuals don't match like a high fantasy RPG type thing. I mean, maybe when it's all done, it's all in and whatnot, it'll be fine. But yeah, it was quite a strange thing. Yeah, because that was many years ago, wasn't it, where they were showing off like dungeon gameplay and stuff. I think at that point they even had like climbing up walls and stuff, didn't they? Like that kind of thing. So we're looking for a clock Vednir who's got the bags. I'm sorry, Ralph. He actually took the time to go and look for me, and I'm just faffing around. Oh, there we go. Okay. We've got to sell that, haven't we? Buy another bag, I think, probably. Oh, it's crashed again. I think I'll stop here, guys. I think I'll call that a stream for now. Go for a couple of hours nearly. I'll come back and do some more stuff. Probably in the morning. It's probably tomorrow morning. Actually, I'm not sure. I keep meaning to stream some Dragon's Dogma 2. Actually, I don't know what sort of things you guys are interested in, but I've kind of mucked around with some other games. Or I've been mucking around with some other games, but yeah. But anyway, please remember to go and have a look at the to go and do the business on the polls that I've put up. As I say, it's a bit hard to find, but if you go to my channel and click community, there's a whole list of polls that I'm doing as research for a video that I'm going to do talking about indie MMOs. And then we'll kind of have a look at all the data and try and work out what it means. But anyway, yeah, you take care, and I think I'll probably see you in the morning. Actually, I wake up in the morning. I don't really have any reason not to stream, if you know what I mean. But I don't know, because it's just one of those things. But yes, and maybe we'll come back to our necromancer and do some stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.